Welcome to the Dating Unsettled show where we dare to date differently. I'm already laughing because we have the funny man with the money, man. It's Sir Abiola. Blah, 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 blah. Hey,
Bam, 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 bam.
hi.
What's going on, Joy? How are
Oh,
you?
I'm good. What are you chewing? You eating some over there?
Uh, I got my little breakfast of champions. I got some grapes right here, assorted flavors.
Okay.
I had my bagels and bananas earlier. You missed that, and a nice healthy green juice.
I missed bagels and bananas. You had bagels and bananas without me.
Toasted.
Do you remember when like every other word from a dude was without me?
Facts.
You gonna leave the house without me? You gonna shower without
How was your
me?
shower?
Yeah, yeah. It's always, why is it always a shower without me? Ew.
Without
Okay.
me.
Well, Ben, do you want to tell the people who you are? Because some people are not getting to see your beautiful. Some people are not getting to
Hello,
see your
friends.
beautiful breakfast. Yeah. Some people are just like listening to us on the Unsettled podcast. So give the people your oration. Give them your vibe.
Yes, yes. For all those listening in and tuning in, my name is Benjamin Abiola. I am an actor, comedian, writer based in Los Angeles. I'm on Nijanimi, which means I'm a
Hey.
Nigerian, a child of Nigeria. I've been in LA for, I think this is going on my sixth or seventh year. Moved here in 2016.
Wow.
So I'm almost an Angelino, not quite. I think once you make 10 years, then you're like a fish.
Is there yeah, there's like
So,
an official LA anniversary. I thought it was just kind of like if you're in LA, you're from LA. No?
yeah, you would think that, but I got a lot of native friends, so they're like, "Nah, bro, you can't be claiming us yet." I'm like, "All right, what's sorry?
To
My
say
bad."
I'm from LA or I'm in LA versus I'm an Angelino, I yeah, 10 years sounds right. Okay, so since you've been in
Facts.
LA for a little bit of a grip, as an actor, director, writer, producer, whatever it is that you do a lot. Tell us what is it like to date in LA?
Who we getting straight to it? Rip the band-aid off.
Yep, this is unsettled. Let's get it.
I feel like, not to sound too harsh, right?
Okay.
Dating in LA, you're only dating for two reasons, right? For potential and position.
Ooh.
And in
Ooh.
that case, uh, a lot of people are dating for position. Keep it a buck, because if you're dating for potential and you don't see the potential, which is it's a lot harder. Obviously, you've got people who are chasing dreams, who want to be somebody, but obviously things don't happen on your specific timetable or your calendar. So it's
Sure.
like you could be dating somebody who's like, I'm the next XYZ, but we done went through the whole alphabet and I ain't seen you become that person, right? So
Hey,
they
hey,
move on to
hey,
the next.
hey. That's
They
unsettling.
move on to the next. It's unsettling for sure. So and
Yeah.
and then those waiting for you at the finish line, I guess you could say, position wise, they're just dating up. They're trying to see who's the record label exec, who's the up and coming popping rapper, who's the, it's difficult. I think the competition is heavy, right? So you're competing against rappers, athletes, people who bought verification,
Oh no.
aka scammers. It's just
not
it's
putting
it's
not putting meta verified on notice. Wait. Okay, so
you
you
know what I'm
said
saying?
potential. You said potential and position, but I feel like you just did that so you could have
Mhm.
alliteration because those are literally the same thing. You're either waiting for somebody to become somebody, or you waiting
Mhm.
for somebody to become somebody so it can benefit you. Is that it?
Essentially, yeah, for sure, for
Ew.
sure, for sure. I mean,
Ew,
it's
that's
like
not
you
cute.
you're going after like the targeted person. Like, oh, I know this person is. I'm
But
gonna
I get
go,
I get a lot
mess
of
with
people
them.
say, "Oh yeah, dating in LA sucks. No, it's crazy." But do you have any like positive glimmers or nuggets of like hope to offer?
I think so.
Okay,
I
yeah,
wouldn't say that I've just had like terrible dating experiences. I'm just saying, just as a perspective of observation, like friends of mine, and even maybe some situations earlier on when I first moved out here. But I think because we are in LA, there is so much to do. So I think the dating scene can also be fun. As far as
yeah.
just being creative with the type of dates you're going on,
Where do we
and
go? Not MoMA. All right, tell us where to go. Where do
not
you
right,
where
not
do you
MoMA.
go in it? Yeah,
I ain't trying to give away
not
all my secrets now,
oh
but
man.
because it's
But
you, because it's you,
oh,
I'm gonna
thanks.
give away a spot that I
The
like.
unsettlers in our global audience. Thanks you. Yeah.
So look up Southern California jet ski. Okay, it's a place in Oxnard, which is about an hour and a half drive. It's not bad at all.
That ain't
Okay,
LA. Yeah, Oxnard is
it's
not
it's
Los
not
Angeles.
It's not LA, but it's still, in that area, right?
I said,
I
"Where are the
like to go
best
out
places to
there.
date in LA?" You said, "Well, in Oxnard."
I take them out. I take them out the city. Okay. Now, in the city, I guess if I have to choose in the city, um,
No, Oxnard is okay. Wait,
there's some
okay, tell us
restaurants.
about jet ski though. That sounds actually kind of fun. I might
Okay,
do
okay,
date.
cool. I, I
What is
I
that?
like I like to do adventurous stuff personally. So Southern California jet ski. I like to go out there. You can jet ski for about an hour, hour and a half for cheap. And
Ooh.
there's like restaurants, all sorts of stuff. There's a beach there. So that's like my. If I'm really feeling you, we gonna make the Oxnard trip. You know what I'm saying? We're
If
gonna hit
you
the jet
not
skis.
feeling it, you gonna drop it in
If
the
I'm not
water.
feeling you, we
Bye.
might
You can
just
jet
go
ski
to Runyon
away.
Canyon or something.
Yeah.
Jet ski away from home. Go see the
If it's
whales and whatnot.
Runyon, Ben doesn't like you. That's
You know what
funny.
I'm saying? So it's Runyon. It's like, all right, let's just get to know each other.
Uh, uh,
But
uh, uh. No. Is that what you feel like the hiking date is? Like, do you see
yeah,
other
it's a feel.
people
It's
who
like
kind of
going for
seem?
coffee.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like you're going for coffee just to get. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with running. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Yeah.
there's so many other things you can do. I feel like
I think because it's so
so the
basic.
hike is like
I
a
I like
safer.
Kenneth Hahn National Park. It's also another like
I
safe
just went there
one.
for the first time.
You did?
I just went there for the first time
Oh.
last weekend with my good friends at Walk Good LA because I don't like driving all the way to Inglewood. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
No, it's in LA. Why is it driving to any neighborhood feels like you're going 2, 4, 5 hours, which sometimes you actually can be, right?
Facts.
With traffic.
Traffic is invisible. Okay,
I love
I don't like it.
Walk Good. I love everything Etienne and friends are doing over there. Is it that y'all were doing where black men hand roses to black women when they complete their walk? Is that it?
We do all that good stuff.
Oh,
But no, this was a hiking and yoga situation they had over the
Hoga?
past weekend. So Hoga, ooh, trademark it. You know,
I love it. Okay, so
we had
those are some
we
good
had a
places
Hoga's
to
event.
like go. Jet skis if you like them, Runyon if they're boring. What about eats? What should we be putting into our bodies other than our dates?
Mm. I recently went to a place called Alta,
Yeah.
black-owned
Alta.
restaurant. Uh,
Yeah.
very good. Not to be confused with Ulta, the makeup spot.
No.
ALTA.
Take a girl to Ulta though
Uh,
as a date? Are we
that's
mad?
different.
No.
She's gonna run your pockets, okay?
Straight to
Okay.
Fenty. Straight to Fenty. Yes. Okay.
Straight
Mhm.
to Fenty Beauty. Alta's very good. Black owned restaurant. Fire. Another
Love
cool
it.
spot, Mama Shelters. It's a nice little rooftop vibe in
Mhm.
Hollywood.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of one more. What's a place I went to?
I feel
Oh,
like
they
you've already
closed
put
it
the
down.
people on. You said
I
what?
have one. Well, there was another place, but they shut it down. It was the best place to get like bottomless mimosas, if that was like your vibe.
Well,
But
thanks,
it's
Ben.
gone now,
Thank you for
sadly.
telling us about the place that was the best place to get bottomless
It
mimosas that we no
was.
longer
You
have
had to
access
be
to.
there.
That's incredibly helpful and it's going to forward so many people's lives. Okay, I would love to know is dating in LA for the past I mean, how many years have you been single in LA? Or are you single? Let's let's back it up. I'm
No.
asking you about dating, but
Um, I'm dating.
okay.
I'm dating. There is someone. There is
You
someone. Um,
okay.
we'll leave it at that. We'll leave
I
it at
like
that.
it. Is it different from your past experience dating in any other places that you lived? You London
Yeah.
boy, yeah?
So I moved to LA. Yeah, I moved to
Yeah.
LA from Texas before I was in London. But it's funny because I always compare like Southern women and West Coast women, right? Personally, I prefer the South, right? However, dating out
Well,
here
Ben,
and
thank you
it's
so much for coming on the podcast today. We really appreciate your time. Everyone be sure just kidding. Just kidding. We're not ending it. Don't go away.
incredible.
How you go sit on a California girl podcast talk about
I'm
some I
sorry.
always compare Southern women to California women and they pale in comparison every time. And that's why Southern
Well,
women are supreme. Like on my podcast, is that what we're doing? just
it's
just get
unsettling.
on a
Hello,
yeah, that's unsettling.
it's
Go ahead and take a
unsettling.
dump, Ben.
Um,
That's fine.
no, I love the West Side. Don't get me wrong, but
Uh-huh.
I think my experience in the beginning, right, was like I was dating or I was like getting to know a lot of these women, and I was just like, yo, like there is a cultural difference
Yeah,
between women in the South
for
and the
sure.
women in the West Coast, and so I was kind of like adjusting my perspective and some of the things I felt like I was like, okay, I got to start fake caring about a lot of the stuff that they care about over here, and I just wasn't used to it. Like, wow, you want me to remember all 17 of your plants' names and your zodiac rising moon. Like what? I just was
That's
like,
just not Southern.
this is
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
It's not it's new to me, right? But now it's like it's more universal now. Like I think everyone's into that. But when I first got out, it was like heavy. It was just like okay, not used to that. However, it was cool. Like it was different for me. I felt like dating. I was also trying to figure out like what type of woman I liked. You
Yeah.
know, and the women either like I said they wanted you for your potential or for where you were, and it was just like I was nobody. I was nobody when I first got here. I was trying to
That's
fake the
good
funk. I was like,
though.
I'm an actor, I'm a da-da-da, which I was, but I just wasn't on the level
You're
that
an
I was
actor, you're just not
today.
a
And so,
known. Yeah. Do you
you know what
feel
I'm saying? I felt like I was trying to overcompensate.
oh, oh, that's unsettling. Wait, wait,
Hmm.
wait. You're not gonna get past that one. How did you overcompensate like actionably on your dates? Because I've done it too.
Whew, let me think.
Were you kind of doing
I
the
think
representative thing where you put out somebody that you're not for a good 100? I mean, 100 days is a lot. You put out somebody that you're not 30, 60, 90 days. No, I'm not talking about payment terms. I'm talking about being a pretender. Yeah.
probably a bit
I
of
just I,
pretending.
I love that you're still snacking. I love that we're having breakfast together.
It never stops. It never stops.
And never
Uh, I remember I had a camera.
Ren
Like
goes,
my, I went. I
probably.
hope you guys can hear that in high definition.
That's
You know,
good. You're giving the people a mukbang. What is that? Are
you
those
feel
oh,
me?
those are still the grapes. I was like, have you moved on to
Trader Joe's,
nuts?
baby.
Have you
Trader
moved on to
Joe's.
nuts and raisins? Okay.
Nope, nope.
Sorry. Okay, but
No, I
yeah,
remember I had a camera, right? And I was using the camera for content, but I'd be the guy at the party, like, oh yeah, I'm a photographer, and so I'd take pictures of people at the party just to like meet folks. I think it was smart network personally, right?
actually
But
that's
then
smart.
like people would hit me like, oh wow, you're a photographer. I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm a photographer. You know what I mean?
Ew, you were one of the creepy LA I'm a
No, no, no,
photographer
no, 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 no.
photographers. Oh, because that's different.
Because I never actually did shoots. I never actually shot with them, but that was just like my introduction. I never actually was like, yeah,
No.
let's take pictures.
But they
But
never do. Okay, so there's a difference. In LA, you run
hmm,
into a lot of I'm a photographers because everybody's got a camera. Like everybody.
hmm, hmm,
Half of them are like you said, I just want to meet people, I want to shake hands, I want to get into events and get admitted into
right,
rooms. So I'm gonna like tell
me.
people I'm a photographer. And then I feel like the other half is the like, hey girl, I'm a photographer. How you doing? Let me tell you. This one, yeah. And they're like in your DMs and they're like, I do
Yeah, no.
boudoir. And you're like, oh, well, that's nice.
Just
Thanks
put
so
this whipped
much.
cream right here.
Can we propose naked? No, not in
Absolutely not.
public, not in front of anybody.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then they show you a portfolio. They show you everybody else that they've done, and you're like,
See,
This isn't encouraging me at
I don't think
all."
that's for me.
Yeah, she's like
It's
naked
like,
on a
why is it
car,
grainy?
and you're like, "This was supposed to be convincing?" Yeah.
When
Okay,
they
if
have
you
fruit in the picture, you just know they're not a good photographer.
they got honey dripping everywhere for no reason. It's always
What
honey,
are you doing?
suds. They love, and I did do a shoot with this, so I can't say I did it, but it wasn't
Uh,
like no, it wasn't like naked. No, it wasn't me. I, as a photographer, use like the holy powder. Do you know the
okay.
one? Or what's it called? This is such a LA thing. I can't even. You know that smoke that's like different colors.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So they'd be like, just covering all the
They be
vital
using it in
areas.
the music videos. Hilarious.
Ew. The music
Hilarious.
videos. What's that one place with like the white and the blue where everybody does their music videos? You know what I'm talking about?
Everyone does their shoots there, yes.
It's
And
like
then now it's that pink they do.
yeah, 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 the pink. Okay. Ugh. Okay, shutters. Photographer shutters. You if you know, you know. But you were
If
the
you
more
know, you
social
know.
type of photographer. You were like inviting people into like, hey, take a photo. And through that you got to know them, which I think is actually really smart.
Exactly. I
That's
was
great.
trying to do what I could to get seen, but those are my early days in LA with dating and meeting new women and
But then
things of that nature.
you stopped overcompensating at a certain point, right? Like
I
the
did.
art became very real.
It did. It became very. I just kind of tapped in more into me because I was like, you know what? I was somebody before I moved to LA, right? So I'm gonna still be that somebody, right? Not to toot my own horn, but like I was
No,
that
you
nigga.
are.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
someone. You're a person.
I was him, right? And
You're
so I
Himi
was like, I don't need
Neutron.
to come. Hit me neutron.
Himi,
Um,
Himi Turner. Yeah.
hit me Turner. I didn't feel like I needed to fit the mold of like being this LA guy. La, da, 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 da. Like I felt like whatever I brought with me from wherever I used to live was enough, and
I love
so
that. You are enough.
I just
Okay,
tapped into that more.
I'm wondering, Ben, if you've noticed any trends related to dating in LA. Ben, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I
Yep.
am reporting live, and what I'm seeing lately is men are offering to take women on dates, but they have nowhere to take them. That's right, they are seeking their interest and stating that they would like to take them out, and then they proceed to ask them where they would like to go.
Ben, wait. So, just to make sure we're getting this in the feed correctly as it's coming through my ears, you're saying that men are proposing to take women to different locations without the locations. Is that right, Ben?
Absolutely, that's what I'm hearing. It's been an overwhelming amount. In fact, women are lining up outside of the police station to file formal complaints because it's actually becoming to waste their time. That's right, they're saying that men don't know what they want, but they're in their DMs wasting their time anyway.
As Ben said, complaints are currently being filed at the local offices, LAPD, Cedar Sinai, and emergencies at her apartment this morning. Mental health crisis, the nation. Is that right, Ben?
Absolutely, yes,
Right,
it is
Jeff.
right. Yep,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, back to you. Ben, no, we're starting to wonder, aside from men asking, I would love to take you out beautiful. If I could just have the opportunity, I'll show you I'm not like these other niggas, Ben. Aside from that trend, is there anything else that you're observing that's happening on a recurring basis in Los Angeles today?
You know, it's funny that you asked that, Joy. What I'm now noticing is a trend between men and women that seems to have been getting out of hand.
Out of
And what I'm
hand.
talking,
Wow.
it's getting out of hand. And what I'm talking about is the ever growing trend where women are using men as their food guys. That's right. They're going on dates with these men with no interest of future dates, but they're taking the free food, and men are starting to get very, very upset.
Now, Ben, this is a contentious one. I'm not sure if we should leave a trigger warning or a disclaimer down
Mm.
below for our audience. However, is it really that women are wasting men's time? Ben, rather, excuse me, pardon, rather, excuse me, rather. Is it that they're wasting men's time? Or is it that they're deciding to go on dates, commit chivalrous acts, and then feel regretful when they don't get sex out of the equation? Ben.
That is a great point. That is a great point. A point that is great. But I guess it is the eye. What's the term is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's all about perspective. But the men, as being reported, are saying, you know, if you knew you did not want anything to do with me for real, you should not have taken me on the date,
Oh,
or you should have not accepted the date.
wow.
And that's from local LA man who lives in Van Nuys.
Who lives in Alpharetta, Georgia, Ben. I mean, that and commutes in whenever he can afford a ticket. That is really an egregious accusation there, to say that it's really the women who are accepting the dates who are at fault. More on the matter at 9. Thanks, Ben. Wow, what a stunning report.
Thank you.
Okay, I wanna know, is it diverse dating in LA? Like, I remember, so, like, I went to school in Los Angeles, right? I went to USC, went to USC
Ooh.
undergrad, and I spent 4 amazing years there. I loved it. One of the things that struck me growing up in a predominantly, like, white neighborhood, Asian neighborhood, schools, etcetera, is I come in and I'm seeing ethnicities of people for the first time. Like,
Mhm.
the same way that if you are a Black traveler, you go to the Great Wall of China, they're like, "Can I get a photo with you?" type energy. That's, like,
Right.
what I felt inside, even as an African woman, just, like, seeing different people in LA. I wasn't aware of Armenians. prior to 2014. Didn't know about that whole thing. I wasn't aware of like what Cameroonians look like, Salvadorians, what the food tastes like, the movement. So it was just like it was a very diverse environment. And I felt
Mhm.
because I was on a college campus, pretty integrated, right, within everything. It felt super great American melting pot. Are you feeling or have you ever felt that same level of like intermingling in like community sense when it comes to dating as an adult, like non-college student in LA?
I would agree.
Yeah?
I definitely see a lot of interracial couples. I see a lot of
Oh,
interracial dating. Um, just even on your daily, I don't go on daily walks, but outings, I guess you could say.
even on my day walks
you
that I
know,
don't go on.
my daily walks, but my daily outings, right? You see it all around. I mean, even myself, I feel like I've been on dates with women that weren't black or African.
Yeah.
Being out here because it is a diverse, and it's funny because when I very first came to Los Angeles, I stayed in Little Armenia and I didn't know that was a thing,
Oh,
so I concur
yeah.
with your statement. But that's really cool that you do have that feel right out here in LA. And I think it's cool. I think just even when you go to a lot of events, things are like a lot more inclusive. Um, and so you see people from like all shapes and walks of life intermingling and
Yeah.
potentially, courting one another.
Did this entice you? Did this make you wanna, like, try to step
Uh,
into taste the rainbow?
you know,
Like,
I
or
got a little sample taste test. I feel like I'm not one of those guys like I gotta have me a foreign
I gotta have
exotic
move
woman.
forward
I got
international,
you know
Mitsubishi.
what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
like, "What? What's going on?" Yeah.
No,
Everything okay
I
at
was
home?
never really that guy,
Yeah.
right? But if you're a person who just so happens to be non-black, but you actually have substance value, and like I like you, then yeah, I'm not looking at your skin color. I'm looking at what's inside, so I can look past the
Ben, did you say you're not looking at
hey,
skin color, you're looking at what's inside?
right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not gonna look at you and just be like, oh, I can't date her because she's not Nigerian, or I'm only dating her because she's exotic. You
Really?
know what I'm saying? Like I'm not one of those guys. So I like to
Talk
get to know people regardless.
and how is that perceived amongst, like, the Black community in LA when you, quote, unquote, "date outside"? I mean, you're dating
Oh,
outside, yeah. What is that how does
it
that
could it could
feel?
it could be perceived. I think anywhere really, but like I guess we since we're focusing on LA, but like post 2020, right? I think there's been a lot of pressure on black men, maybe to like, we need a black man with a black woman, real Dr.
Yes.
Umar-ish, you know what I'm saying? Which, hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So I think that
Donations.
has become more of a thing.
Donations.
Donations, gifts,
Donations.
uh, gift that black
Gifts.
woman.
Donations. Yeah.
Donations. So I think it's
Not
been
that
more
we're
of a like a
endorsing Dr. Umar because that's problematic
right,
for
right, right,
yeah, it's just funny, okay? But funny is funny,
hilarious.
alright? Yeah, so it's
Uh,
like you feel like there's been increased pressure to kind of, like,
for sure.
date Black. Do you feel that pressure personally?
No, because ain't nobody finna
Okay.
tell me what I'm scared. No, no, I definitely
Yeah.
don't. I don't feel that pressure.
Hmm.
I'm usually within I stay within my means, my bubble, my lane. I'm not
Yeah.
too exposed. I do what I do, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think I have friends who married outside their race or date outside their race, and they sometimes get side eyed because they did. What I mean? I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, like, do you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
you're
love who
not
you
in their
love
house.
because of who they
Yeah,
are.
very much so.
Right.
I think it's tough because I don't know, do you remember that National Geographic thing that was like, "Oh, 30% of America is gonna look like this," in yeah, yeah, there's a
Look
like,
like
I got
Nick
that
Cannon's kids.
yeah, yeah, that poor caramel child that they used for that, like, little expose or
I'm trying to
whatever.
keep the melanin alive.
Yeah.
For real
It's
though.
like, I I think I grew up in, like I said, white and Asian neighborhoods personally. The
Hmm.
crushes that I had were the people who were around. Um,
Yeah.
the Black crushes I had were kinda more so celebrity, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't
Mm.
really have access to them. They're like Rashawn Fagan, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember that too. Is he around? I don't know.
Was
But
that dude from Disney
yeah, from Kid Rock. He was the cutest to
with that damn fedora?
me. He never took that damn
Incredible.
fedora off. Just like Neo. Keep it on. Um,
Hilarious.
but as I kind of got to a place, LA, where the black men were more men, had grown up.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. And so even though I wasn't in a relationship with a black man, my preferences shifted. And this was like a very real and very vulnerable type of like moment. And I like work things out with my
Mhm.
partner to like do what I needed to do. But I think I just felt very convicted all of the sudden that I knew my next relationship, if I was going to have one, would be with a black man.
Mhm.
Like, it was even a
Come
conversation.
on with it.
Yeah, it was even like a conversation I had with my partner at the time, like an African man, preferably Nigerian if I
Mhm.
can. But like
Hey, come on
African,
now.
yeah. So it's like, and then now in this relationship with a gorgeous Cameroonian man, I'm like,
Okay.
okay, like this feels like, there are next door neighbors. I'm not gonna drop that on the podcast. They gonna come for me. But anyway, there are neighbors, our neighboring country. I've never been to Cameroon.
Mhm.
Hope to go someday. And it's just crazy how at home I feel in that. And I think LA had a lot
Mm.
to do with like exposing me to black men and black male culture, and not just African men, right? But like across the diaspora, right? Like, what does it
Right.
look like to be black and Thai, black and Brazilian, from Texas, from Atlanta, from DC? Every single flavor is just, it's just rich and different. And I'm a black love encourager. I'm a black love promoter.
Facts.
I'm not gonna mandate anybody to do anything, right?
Right.
And I appreciate interracial love and the couples having been in a position where I felt like, okay, I can still advocate for and advance us without
Mhm.
necessarily needing to marry that way. Keyword, as long as my partner is equally invested in doing so. And
Yes.
I think I just realized like there was no way. Yeah, personally. But
Cheers to that.
I yeah, ooh, sips. I appreciate you for sharing that. Okay. Dating within Hollywood and not just LA. I'm talking about the people who are the actors, the models, the producers. Yuckier, tougher, faker, or better because they
Ooh.
understand like what you want, what you're going through.
I think in a lot of ways it's better,
Okay.
right? Because you understand what it's like to get a last minute self tape and you're really locked in and I can't talk to you for a few hours, or you understand that I'm emotionally going through it because I got so close to this life changing role and I did it, and now I'm like want to be left alone or whatever. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just the work
Hey
ethic.
girl.
It's in a lot of ways I think better.
Yes.
But I can understand for some and or the perspective of it being like a little messier because now it's like you're almost competing with each other. Maybe you get a win, this person does it. It depends on that
Ooh.
relationship. Um,
Ooh.
but also it's funny
Yeah.
because you have these relationships, right, where you're like, okay, you and I are both pursuing the same thing, or maybe within just the Hollywood industry, maybe one's an actor, one's a singer, or whatever.
Right, right.
But you've got to do the industry, play the game, right? You've got to go to the networking events, or maybe your girlfriend's a singer and she's dealing with the producer, but you know this producer is one of those guys that likes to ask for favors. You know what I mean? Like, so it makes it harder, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, yo, I don't want you going to this, I don't want you doing that, but it's like, babe, I have
Mm.
to because I'm trying to further my career. You need to trust that I'm not going to let anything happen, but I'm
Yes.
playing the game. You know what
Because
I
it's
mean?
not, it's
So
at a certain point, it's not ignorance is bliss anymore.
yeah,
Right? Because you're like,
yeah,
oh my God, I'm deep in this thing and I've been there and my cousin has and my step partner and my blah, 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 yeah, that's awkward. But
it's deep, it's
I'll
deep,
say
it's
it's
deep.
weird. Like, so I had imagined potentially dating another digital creator,
Hmm.
dating another actor, and just being open to that. But it was weird in the Bay Area. I didn't really find that. I didn't find it.
Mm.
I was like, "Oh, there's gotta be, like, Bay Area creatives and maybe," but I think all the Bay Area creative guys were, like, in happy relationships. Right?
Yeah,
And
so they've
then
been there, found that.
yeah, they were like, "No, we're good." So I was like, "Dang, like, where do I find this, like, Bay Area creative man who understands?" And what's funny is I naturally gravitated more so towards the left-brained type of dude,
Mm.
the software engineer the mechanical engineer,
Right.
the product designer, I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, I actually need a balance." Like you think you want somebody who's like gets it
Yeah.
and knows the lingo and the terminology, but it's actually more so fun that like he's invested in like left brain stuff. He's in sports, he's in software, he loves science, and I'm
Hmm.
coming at it from the artsy, the entertainment, the comedy. We can tell each other's stories. We can expose each other to like each other's worlds and it feels fresh versus feeling
Right.
like on a dating app, people be like, I'm in this, and I need somebody who like, is doing all the same
Hmm.
things I'm doing. I like a balance a little bit more.
Yeah, I think a balance is healthy. I've experienced both.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can't say I prefer one or the other. Like I'm like I can make either work, right?
Yeah, ¿por
But
qué no los dos?
you know what I'm saying. But I think it's funny. I guess a little personal story would be
Yeah.
like when I am dating someone who isn't in the digital creative world, right? But I'm making a lot of sketch comedy and I'm in a relationship with another person in this comedy. It's like I get that, oh, you with your internet girlfriend or you did it. It's like, yo, it's content. You know what I'm saying? But I also
She
see
just my
people who,
content cousin.
you know what I'm saying?
We not even talking
She not
like
my
that for
girl for
real.
real.
Yeah.
In the opposite spectrum, like I know a couple, like a real life couple who make their content together. And I'm like, oh,
Oh.
that's so easy. That's so fun. There's no drama because you can make this relationship comedy content, but it's also you're in a relationship with that person, so it's so much easier versus like you create this fake relationship online and now people are like, oh my god, you guys are so cute together, you're so real, and it's like, girl, we acting, you know what I'm saying? Like it's funny.
I don't wanna create couples content every day or on a demand to the point where I feel like we're fabricating romantic moments for the
Hmm.
that looks
That's
stressful.
different.
That reminds me of the, like, Liza Koshy, David Dobrik daily vlog
Mm,
where they were YouTubers, super popular. I mean, are YouTubers, but, like, super popular in creating, "Hey, we're a thing together every single day," to the point where they
mm,
were in tears breaking up. They were like, "We just can't film every precious moment of our lives. We're finding ourselves in a moment where, like, he's giving me a gift. I'm wondering, is it because he's trying to do a video? Or is it because he really wants
mm,
to give me this gift? Is it because we received this?" So I was like, this is like stressful. And I think that the time that you spend doing daily vlogs or regular content as a couple will ultimately take away from the real relationship that you're building. Which
mm.
sucks, but I'm also it's like pot calling the kettle black. I definitely like took my boyfriend on a brand trip with me.
Ah,
Like we
hey
made a
boo.
little hard launch web series together. Yeah. Well, Ben, your takes are very refreshing. Like I feel like you're giving us LA, but it's very real and tangible and not these over dramatized. I'm sorry, I'm tired of the podcasts that are like, oh yeah, da da da, and goes like this and this. So it just like everything's so hyperbolic. And sometimes I just like
Yeah,
to come down here and just have a real discussion.
keep it
Do you have
real.
any advice as we close out for people who are like new to dating in LA?
Be yourself. As cliche as that may sound, but truly be yourself. Like whatever you have to offer is what you have to offer. Don't overcompensate. Don't try to be something you're not,
Mm-mm.
because they'll see through it quickly. And like date within your means. Not to say that you don't have a huge goal or you want to reach or whatever, but like you can go broke dating out here, especially if you're on these apps and you're trying to date, every woman you see that swipes right on you or whatever. Like, be selective, and I think it's more valuable to date in person, like approach a woman in person than it is online. I've never been an online dater personally, but like go out, go to these group functions, these
You've never been
activities
an
where
online dater?
I have, but like I'm not like an avid, what I'm saying. If I was on an online dating app, keep it a buck, I was just trying to hook up. I wasn't looking for nothing serious. You know what I'm saying?
If you met me between 2019 and 2021.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
you may be due to compensation
Right.
mesothelioma now, but I think
Is
if you
mesothelioma
actually
like
go out,
really serious? Cause
allegedly,
cause the because the
allegedly,
commercials make it look like not as serious. I'm not trying to minimize anybody's medical conditions, but the amount that the culture has taken that commercial and run with it, I don't even know if people who have mesothelioma are like really in trouble or not.
right? They're like, did y'all almost die
Yeah,
from
did you
this? Give us a
almost
call.
did everybody make it from that? Did everyone get the financial
Hilarious.
compensation? Okay.
Facts.
Thank you, Ben, for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Thanks for listening, Unsettlers. If you are about to go broke dating in Los Angeles, it's okay. I got free and low cost date ideas for you also on the podcast. So be sure to keep an eye out for those. You can follow Ben at Sir Abiola.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you can. And connect with him on LinkedIn because he's on there now. Benjamin Abiola. You can't shoot your shot because he's talking to somebody. Respect his space, respect his privacy.
Respectfully.
And be sure to follow the Dating Unsettled podcast everywhere that podcasts are found, as well as Instagram, TikTok, and now fan base. Yay. All right. See you next week.
Hey.